Thank you very much. Quick shot indeed here with both Youngbuck and Unlimited. First up, congratulations, guys. First game, first win for the Copenhagen Wolves. Youngbuck, talk me through, well, how it feels to get that victory, knowing that you guys had that sub and a lot was relying on the new lineup of the team.
I think it's a really important win. A lot of people counted us out and as one of the weaker teams. And we heard that H2K was very strong or in good shape. So winning here means a lot to us. And I think it kind of shows to us, but also to other people, that we are capable of taking out some better teams.
Unlimited, what's it been like being reunited with your buddy Freeze? He didn't get a lot of kills on Draven there.
That was unlucky, but it's really fun. He's really good AD carry, and he's just as good and even better than the AD carries I played with before. So he'll prove that
Wow.
in the next games.
Nice.
Yeah, you guys did well on bottom lane. I think in the early game, let's be honest, you guys got pretty far behind. You had the Rock on bottom lane going with the Annie Draven lane. That went well. Is that a lane you guys practice often? Because it doesn't seem to be in the champion pools of any other LCS teams right now.
It's a very good solo queue lane because you just snowball, get 10 kills, and then win the game. You probably know that already.
Yeah, I know that. I know that feeling. But yeah, basically, I'll be negative. Nancy and Shucks can be positive here. I just want to highlight the part where you guys got behind in the early game. We have a couple of replays of that prepped already. Basically, they targeted Youngbuck. That doesn't feel really good. But the one thing I want to highlight, if we can get that replay on the screen right here, is that waiting for it. There he goes. Is that basically at this point, Aerox was counter jungling and had 2 deep wards inserted in the enemy jungle. So you guys kind of knew that Elise was on the left side of the map. Was that communicated at all within the team? Because you technically could have predicted Elise coming down the top lane a couple of times in a row, or was that just land jitters for the first time? What went through your head?
Can I take this one?
Yeah.
It went exactly how we practiced. Joy takes all the aggro top lane, keeps dying, and we get the control bot side, get dragons, win the game.
So we basically have a new Darien.
Sounds about right. Actually, I wanted to highlight, they actually timed my trinket. And as the second the trinket went out, my vision was gone, and that's the second they came in.
Okay.
Very well played by them, very well timed.
Yeah, I don't want to discredit you by all means, because I just want to highlight, it was a really good gank by them. You see here as well, when Adawama comes in, they combo the CC pretty perfectly. A top laner like Gnar has the illusion of mobility, but if they chain CC it really well or knock you out of your jump, you do get behind. But I have to give you props. You had a really rough early game, as Unlimited said, you took all the aggro, but then you guys started coming back with some insane team fights.
Yeah, talk us through that actually, because you must have, I don't know if you knew this, but in your scouting, but H2K kind of stopped doing something at a certain mark, or had you predicted that and were waiting for that moment, or how did it all came about?
We do know that Lulex likes to camp a certain lane, but we didn't know which one. We had 3 winning lanes, 3 lanes that would push in, so it was Lulex had kind of a free choice of where to gank, and this time it was me. But you know, looking back, I'm pretty happy that they ended up focusing all their energy and resource on the tank, and I could still be very useful to the team, while we actually put a lot of emphasis on the carries that ended up carrying us later. You
guys played with a composition which is insanely strong when you guys are all together grouped. You have the Cassiopeia ulti, the Gnar ulti, but it felt a little immobile at some points. Do you think better teams would punish you there?
I actually think they took a lot of towers, took almost all the objectives, but it was our game plan to just slow down, give them the towers, and just wait for the Cassio and Draven to hit their sweet spot. And at a certain point, they only had the inhibitor towers left, and they didn't feel like they could contest them, so we had a chance to come back.
Yeah, absolutely a big chance. Let's actually get our next replay up on the screen, because it's one of the team fights you won in the late game by executing that combo, must say, very well.
Yeah, we can roll the clip already. So this is basically at the end of the game. You guys are like dancing around each other, and just talk me through Youngbuck. What happens here?
Well, I'm actually hoping that my Mega Gnar doesn't go out, so I jump in like crazy and ult. At that moment, Kassadin is called, but I'm trying to get the Graves out of the fight. So I'm just trying to take the aggro from the Graves while my team cleans up the rest of the team.
Yeah, and it pretty much worked out, because you leave Freeze basically on 1 kill. He may have had like 800 stacks at that point, but doesn't matter. Worth, kill the base.
Yeah, absolutely. Unlimited, to wrap it up here, what has playing with Freeze changed about you guys' way of viewing a game? Because it's still kind of that stally gameplay for a lot of the points when you know that you're going to hit a power spike later in the game. Has it changed somewhat? Is he saying, come on guys, we should go now, we should fight now?
Well, I don't think so much for team fights, but for lane we're playing more smart. Like, we're having aggression when we can, and we're playing passive when we can't. So we're having less deaths in bot lane, and that's good. Of course, the Elise was topside, so it was hard to die for us. but
Yeah, you
overall
didn't even need your flash because at one point you decided. to just-
okay, I was timing the flash.
I know you were timing it because you were standing still. I know that feeling, dude. I've had that as well.
No, but congratulations, guys. Fantastic for you guys, that first win here in the LCS. Before our next match, let's check in with you guys on Twitter. Earlier in the show, we asked you, what recent change to the game do you think will have the biggest impact on the LCS this split and why? And here's what you had to say. First up from No, Not the Insane. The Smite changes and the changes to the jungle. Can't wait to see the diversity and how the pros have utilized the new Smite. Repo.
Yeah, I actually really like the new Smite because it stacks up. I've actually been playing it on support, so I'm just throwing it out there. Limit, if you want to smite through those, hook through those creeps with Smite, you have my permission to do
It's a
so.
good idea. It sounds like a legit strategy.
Yep, bring it to an LCS near you soon.
We'll see it tomorrow, I am sure.
Yep.
At NJ Chef, the new champions Gnar, Kalista, and Rek'Sai will really change the meta and are total game changers. Bans here for Kalista and Rek'Sai in this one, but you definitely are loving that Gnar.
Yeah, Gnar is a pretty high priority for us in the top lane. It has a few weaker matchups, but I think that Gnar can lane against anyone and is always very tanky in late game. And the CC adds to a team. He fits in almost every team composition.
Yeah, he definitely displayed what he can do. The third one is from @WonderGameLol. The Dragon changes will offer a broader perspective of late game decision making and unlimited. You guys had to dance around that Baron with H2K a couple of times.
Well, the dragon doesn't give gold anymore, so there's no point to contest every dragon, so you can give away 4 dragons and still win the game easily. So that's why we were giving away the dragons. We also gave away towers that give gold, but that was unfortunate. I think dragon is easier to contest late game because it's so squishy, you can one-shot it in 1 second, so it's much easier objective and safer.
Now remember, you can always chime in on the conversation by tweeting @LOL Esports and using that hashtag LCS. If your tweet makes it to the show, we'll send you a skin code for the new challenger, Ari. Now we need to step off the rift for 3.5, but we'll be right back as SK Gaming goes up against Roccat.
Can they flag and drag land? The flag, the drag, Lulex gets dunked. First fight, and that's Ryu. Caught up as well. Soren, H2K on the tower. There's the engage. Timbers comes down. Copenhagen Wolves stun up H2K. Oh, let's look at Odoamne. He's running in. He gets a double. That's a double stun. Youngbuck is about to become Mega Gnar, but he's exhausted. That is a massive stun. H2K locked up. Baron is still bashing away in the background. But with Freeze down, can Copenhagen Wolves finish with Soren alone? Cataclysm comes back. Yana's being focused out. 80 carries are dead on both sides, but so is the jungler for H2K.